All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the No Guts, No Galaxy podcast 152. We are your hosts, Phil and Darren. Today is December 14th, 2016. And I'd like to first say, I'm glad you're feeling better, Mama Bear. How you doing, man?
I'm doing much better. Way better than last week. Yeah, I did get the MechCon sickness or plague or whatever that was going around. But it is now, like you just said, halfway through December. I can't believe how fast time freaking flies by.
Yeah, most out, dude. And, obviously, I had a big task. It was actually quite strange, by the way, recording an entire podcast without you, because, I just had to keep talking because there's no one to to stop me. So yeah, that
I
was
don't
that.
I don't know you as somebody who has a problem just talking.
What
So it
what are
seems
you
like a
talking
natural
about?
fit to me.
Anyways, it's good to have you back, man. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, I mean,
Thank
just
you.
just a moment. People didn't really get to ask you, I guess, or to hear your little experience. Can you sum your experience of MetCon in few words?
Put me on the
No,
spot. A few
no.
words? No, there's no way. Here's my summary of MetCon right here. The picture that some people saw.
Right.
No, I don't know, man. It was just an amazing experience. What I told everybody. Here's my summary of MetCon. Um, we did the launch party in San Francisco. We did the Steam launch party last year, and we did the MetCon this year. And it's just gotten better and better and better. And my feeling is like it's a family reunion. I feel like every year now we're getting back together with our friends at PGI, obviously, but the community, and it's growing, and seeing George for the first time. It was overwhelming, and I can't sum it up in a few words. But I also don't want to take up this whole podcast again reviewing MetCon. But I had an amazing time. Super happy to meet everybody that I did get to hang out with. Wish that I had more time to spend with individuals at MetCon, and hopefully next year we'll fix that and actually arrange it so that you and I can have some sit down time with people and get to know them better. Because, like you mentioned, people just went so far out of their way, spent so much money to be there. But that was the highlight for me. Definitely was the community.
It is a good picture for those that don't know. We'll make sure to include a
Thank you,
link
Sue,
somewhere.
for that
Yeah.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah, speak of which, the photographer, yeah, Zoof himself. But yeah, man, it's good to have you back. Obviously, we've got another week, on top of that. But before we get into what's going on in MWO, I'm just gonna say it's here. I don't. Are you like? I'm just gonna. I know that you're on a slight delay. You can't see this, but I'm already wearing the T-shirt.
I'm gonna wait for it.
I'm super
Wait for it.
excited. I mean, you'd be, yeah,
I
yeah.
have no idea
So,
what you're talking about. You're talking about a T-shirt. It's
Rogue One,
here.
man.
Oh,
Shit,
Jesus.
how much do I have to spell it out for you?
Dude, in my head, I'm thinking the BattleTech closed beta is going to be here around the corner. I'm thinking the announcement for MechWarrior 5. I was not thinking Rogue One.
So Rogue One. Anyways, super
And by
excited.
the way, Millennium Falcon is probably not in Rogue One, but just
You never know. You never know. I mean,
I got a new Millennium Falcon. Speaking of shirts, by the way, real quick, this shirt just arrived today, and let me just point out real quick what it is.
yeah.
I shouldn't say it arrived today. It arrived yesterday. I'm wearing it for the first time today. I created and ordered this shirt specifically for MetCon because obviously it's an inside joke for the comp scene and the people that were participating in the tournament. I got it yesterday. I don't know. I guess it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah, and somebody did just point out R.I.P. Bruce.
the piranha.
Bruce the Piranha is
Moment of
gone.
silence.
No longer with us.
He was
Yeah, so
he was looking so good when we were up there.
let's have 1/100th of a second of silence for Bruce, please. All right, that's enough. So hopefully, I asked, are we going to get a new Piranha? No word yet. That was an old Piranha, 16 years, man. That thing has been with them since the beginning, the inception of PGI.
He was well fed. Let's just put it that way.
He was. Where did Nico go? We don't know for sure.
He had a good life. So yeah, Rogue One, dude, super excited. Actually, me and the
Yeah,
wife might
back
be able
to
to
Rogue
see
One.
it this Friday in my buddy Tay. His company rented at a theater, one of the theaters, and we might be able to go. So crossing my fingers, we'll find out tomorrow. But that way we don't have to beat the crowds or any of that, and we can go watch. So super excited. I just wanted to get that off my chest. It's here.
You just wanted to rub it in. You're going for free. I don't even know when I'm going.
Not even for free. I will pay. It's just the fact I don't have to deal with like the lines or the crowds, and I don't. So.
I want to. It's going to be a couple weeks before I see it, so it's going to be that whole, avoiding basically the internet for 2 weeks because of spoilers. I don't like going to crowded theaters anymore. So yeah, it'll be during the week, and it'll probably be a week or two from now. But absolutely fucking excited. I saw somebody tweet that they haven't been this excited about a movie since episode 4, so the original Star Wars. And I kind of have that same feeling with this. I mean, it obviously harkens back to the old look and style or whatever. But I am super excited about this. Maybe even more than episode 7, because I'm sitting here trying to do the math of the episodes in my head. All I can say is fuck you, episodes 1 through 3. But anyway, because
they're not real.
I know, and they mess up all my. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, I was totally obviously looking forward to episode 7 because Han and Chewie and the Millennium Falcon and so forth. But kind of a similar story. We've been there, seen that, done that, or whatever. I'm really looking forward to this because it's a new story, even though it takes place within an old story or before.
One sentence spawned an entire.
Basically. But yeah, dude, I'm totally looking forward to it. Rogue One, without a doubt.
So there's that, and that's pretty much on my mind for this week. That's all I've got, and that'll be the podcast, guys. So no.
See ya. We're gonna go get in line for Rogue One, but yeah, I mean, I was gonna talk a little bit about Westworld season 1 on TV, but meh. It was an okay show. I'm still gonna watch it, but not really a lot to talk about as far as TV for me, unless there is for you.
No. Yeah, actually, I don't have TV. Well, technically, I canceled my cable
and so forth, but
no.
Yeah.
I have been reading a book.
Okay.
Actually, it's not in here. It's next. It's on my bedstand. Dune. The second. The second one.
Worms and Spice.
Yeah. So.
And everything nice.
For those that read the first Dune, it's obviously classic. By the way, I've read somewhere someone bought the rights recently, possibly for a new movie. I know that's been, I don't know. So let's just cross our fingers, because that 80s version, man, is like, yeah.
What?
It's like, I was talking about this on.
It's a classic. You can't.
It's like watching the original Tron. Great story, and I know at its time it was like mind blowing, but when you watch it and then watch the new,
in it, man, it had Sting.
When you watch the new one, like, to me, the new one, like, the visuals just are amazing. Anyways, yeah. And yeah. So no, I've been reading the second Dune book, and it's a little bit different. Yeah. I don't want, like, can we talk about spoilers? Like,
the book's been out for a few years. I think you can mention it.
Well, it's just.
All right, for those of you who don't want to know the spoiler to the second book of the Dune series, close your ears right now.
Well, not even to the second, but it's just the fact of, like, the entire mythos around, like, Paul and basically what happens is it like spurs its own religious sort of cult, and they go on like a total jihad and like purge the freaking universe, and they're just like killing billions and billions of people, and he never wanted that. Anyways, sometimes that book, the wordage used, it's like this, it's like trying to explain this, like, it's like I don't know how to describe it. Like, sometimes it like just feels like he's just, it's like he's just throwing words to make it sound like over the top more than it is, and it's like trying to describe this. I don't know. It's a little crazy, but I'm enjoying the book.
Good to hear. I just finished yesterday or last night, The Price of Glory. So that's the third book in the Grey Death Legion trilogy.
I like The Price of Glory
by William Keith. Yeah, so did I. I loved it, as a matter of fact. I liked all three, probably the first and the third the best. Mercenary
You
Star
didn't like
was
the second on Verth
no,
90?
no, I liked it. I liked it. I'm just saying I liked the first and the third the best. The whole series, I've read all three 20 times, you know. So, but anyway, jumping into the Warrior trilogy, just started that this morning. Another trilogy that I love, absolutely freaking love.
You know,
So
if there was gonna be a BattleTech movie, I think they should do
the Warrior trilogy, right?
no, no,
Or
no.
no, you're thinking
Great Death.
Great Death.
Like obviously like the whole
All of them are good, dude. All of the
but like
Warrior would be great too. But yeah, you're right.
I feel like I really like the second one. They're on a, you know, they get caught up in this again.
I wasn't saying I didn't like
No,
it.
no, 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 no. I'm just saying like I feel like that entire trilogy.
Talk about overwhelming odds, right? The second one.
Well,
I mean,
not,
oh my
not,
god.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention that, but just sort of captures the nitty and gritty of like where you have this, especially on like the first book, you have this total clash of technologies, right? You've got the planet and this sort of rundown state of you know, the Thel 1, anyways, and just right, and it talks about how it used to have a dome and it's all like worn out and through the years, and but then you have these battle
that
mechs
was
that
the first one. That was
well, no, I know, and then you have these
Okay.
battle mechs that are like super sophisticated, and you have this
Yeah.
unit that's, you know, it's
huge
just
discrepancies.
it's a
between-
clash of like
Right.
cultures, if you will, in some sense, in the BattleTech universe, where you have, you know, I guess up to date, you know, and then you have these like border worlds that have just been left out for the only thing that keeps them is trade of like spices and certain things. That's the only thing that really keeps
Spice
any.
and worms. But which is the whole point of the third novel, which is, you know, finding the library and basically getting that knowledge back out to the universe and humanity.
Millions of people get killed like that just to put the blame on.
Yeah,
That's
stuff
pretty
like
fucked
that,
up.
dude, always fucks me up. Like,
Right.
I just can't wrap my head around, like, we're just one planet right now, planet Earth, you know, here and now, and so, but you've got all these Earths or whatever, home planets throughout the galaxy, you know, in the year 3000 plus or whatever, and yeah, just destroying millions and millions of people in an instant for some stupid political thing. Yeah, I always have a really hard time with that. It's crazy.
Yeah. So really good books. I like the, you know, someone,
Yep.
that's why anybody asks like, where should I start reading the BattleTech books? I always say Decision at Thunder Rift. And then, I mean, because it just sort of falls in line of you read that, you read the second, and you read the third, at least of that trilogy. I don't recommend the first novel, Sword and the Dagger. It's got good pertinent information for backstory, but the author and how it was written, I think we sort of mentioned this when we were talking to Randall Bills. It was horrible. There's parts in the book you're like, what? Like that doesn't even. Anyways, yeah.
I would like to point out that you can go to store.catalystgamelabs.com and you can get a lot of the novels. They're being converted to e-book format, etc. Or you can get them on your Kindle. Yeah, I couldn't get what book were you just talking about? What's the
Sword
title
and the
of it?
Dagger.
Yeah, I couldn't get that. Couldn't find it. So that's only in, like, you know,
You're better
ridiculous
off.
paperback prices. Well, I still wanted to read it. I had a hard copy long time ago. Don't have it anymore. I was still going to read it just for the story, because that backstory actually that whole plot does come up later on.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Take a moment, earmuffs. I mean, literally, I mean, it could have been, the entire inner sphere could have been changed because of the doppelganger. So, like, if it wasn't for his best friend.
Yeah, so it's a big story, plot line, etc. So that's why I wanted to read it again. But since it's not available digitally right now, I'm moving on to the Warrior trilogy, which I love. I love reading it every time, just like I do all these books. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get into the podcast.
And by the way, the author, this is the only book he ever did, was Ardath Mahar.
Do you have it?
Yes,
in hand?
right here. I just had to go
You
grab it.
son of a bitch.
Right here. Like I said, pertinent information, but especially if you've read any book that has some semblance of grammar and, like, you know. Anyways, it's a struggle to read, but it's good information. So yeah, there's that. All right, so we're gonna focus.
It's
And
homework. Read it.
by the way, once you do decide, and if you do decide to read Decision at Thunder Rift, follow up with the next two novels, and then usually what I'd recommend is continue down that chronological list. But if you want to jump ahead a bit, I would say the Blood of Kerensky trilogy.
Absolutely.
You're gonna say Warrior trilogy, which I agree. I think that's good as well.
No,
and
Blood of Kerensky is freaking awesome too,
right?
man.
And that's yeah. So
there's a lot of them. I would do the Great Ath Legion trilogy. I'd do the Warrior trilogy. I'd do the Blood of Kerensky trilogy. There's all kinds of standalone books. There's so many to read, and I'm starting at the beginning. I'm going through them all again. Would definitely recommend jumping into them if you have any sort of interest in the BattleTech universe whatsoever. It's cool. Anyway, but yeah, we are going to get into today's topic, which is the patch, December 13th. That was yesterday. We're already a day past the patch. And let me drop the link into chat, but you want to take us into the beginning of the patch notes?
yeah, I mean, obviously we have the faction play. Now, personally, I haven't been able to experience it. We had issues in faction play yesterday. It's already been, or there's a hotfix coming tomorrow with some additions, but
I did have some experience. I dropped with aces a bit.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, so it took a united front. So instead of like multiple fronts happening, you basically have clan versus IS, and then on special occasions,
let's go point by point. So yeah, the first thing is unified front. And this is actually huge. This is what is reducing the queues and the buckets.
Why is this important?
All that terminology.
It's because
queue times,
right, queue time, right? Buckets,
finding matches,
buckets.
finding people that are playing. I mean, a huge complaint was getting in there and not being able to find opponents in time, having to wait 20, 30 minutes or whatever. So this creates a unified front. All the inner sphere units or houses are working together.
Gotcha.
To fight all the clans, and they create this kind of tug of war over the systems or whatever. Now you can still stay in your still can stay a part of your faction. It doesn't mean that everybody is just one blob of inner sphere. I mean, they are technically as far as the map and the gameplay goes, but you're still representing or whatever. And that was an important.
So loyalty.
There's loyalty.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you can still represent your favorite house or your clans or whatever. And so that was big. That was huge. That's the first step, and we'll get to that for the changes that are coming to faction play. And this is, of course, phase 4. It's being called 4.1. So that was the first thing, the unified front. The second one, and this was
huge.
It took a little work, right? But the Long Tom artillery gone.
Yep. Gone.
Not just edited or modified or nerfed or whatever. It is gone.
I don't think anybody won it. Like after those initial talks, though, every single person every single time I talked to them, they were like, it needs to go away. It was like an instant game changer when it got brought in, and now it's been replaced by like a radar jammer, like ECM, right?
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that was a big deal. It's got the radar jammer in there. I didn't get to experience that per se, or wasn't paying attention. So obviously,
and again, I feel like I need to play it. And last night I stuck to group drops and quick play. So this is just sort of going over quickly. I will give a report brief. Back. Yeah.
Well, first of all, the patch notes are insanely long, extensive. And I recommend go read it, because we're gonna brush through these things real quick. And there's in-depth information on everything, and there's more than even what we're going to talk about. There's so much that happened in the patch. But obviously, replacement a long time. The next one is the integration. This is big too. The integration of quick play game modes into faction play, as well as the maps. So now there's a lot more variety in faction play. And this, I've been hearing nothing but positive.
I'm interested to see how, and again, how they handle the ability to spawn camp. Now, I know they're extending from 15 minutes to like 20 minutes. I think that's happening in the quick fix tomorrow as well. So by the time you're listening to this, it may have already been changed. But, how is IS versus Clan 12v12 on Canyon Network? You will have completely different strategies for every single one. So that'll be interesting.
Yes, indeed. And also, if you want an easy to watch overview of the patch, there it is right there. It's Kaneyashi's patch overview. Drop that link into chat as well. So that's another way you can kind of wrap your head around all the features in this patch. So yes, we just covered the quick play game modes, and then the next one is, and this goes along with the unified front thing, Intersphere versus clans. There's new support for special faction play events. What are faction play events? They can be events that are house versus house. They can be clan versus clan, or they can be specific house versus specific clan. So it's basically the system is set up to do these special events, and a lot of people wanted that as well, which is cool. It adds to the lore and the immersion.
Well, and then I think what they can, again, a weekend event or something to where maybe a specific planet is under contest where it could actually switch hands. Now you can do that, and it also break up, I guess, the monotony. Maybe just IS versus clan. You throw something in there as well.
No, it's a twist. Again, it's just adding variety, which I think there was a lot of variety added. Is adding the quick play maps and modes. So I think there was a big shakeup with faction play. But again, this was just the first step, and this is what this is. I think this is Russ's statement, or I got it from the faction notes. But anyway, Russ has said it several times. But before I get into this, the other thing that changed as far as the bullet is off, that's why I was confused. There's a tonnage change as well. The tonnage limit now for IS has been changed to 265. Clans are 250, obviously trying to maintain some balance there. Can you speak on that at all?
As far as the tonnage, no.
Yeah, the tonnage and balancing. When the skill trees come out and so forth, do you expect that to change, stay the same? Don't know.
I mean, it's hard to say because it's a little bit different to anytime you have tonnage, right? You're sacrificing potentially balance in the regards of just min-max. Like, is there just a better combination of max for clans at 250 tons than there is for IS at 250 tons? I mean, really, that's what you're gonna, it boils down to. Now, with the skill tree changes that we're talking about, what may happen and is going to happen, I guess I should say, is it gives you a better idea of where balance between clan and IS is, so you can make those baseline changes and you can see that sort of that gap get bridged a bit. But I don't know. As far as the tonnage system, I mean, it's a lot simpler, I guess, than having some type of weight class system or this or that. But at heart, it's always going to be very difficult to have a 1-to-1 ratio, I think, just with clan versus IS, because 75 to 75 are clan and IS equal, 85 85 100 100. So that's the difficulty. I
think you said it. We both need to do more faction play drops, and maybe we can touch on it on the next podcast when we've got some experience under our belt. But the main point that I wanted to get to was that this is only the first of future updates and improvements planned for faction play in 2017. Obviously this came out December, but this is when we had the last roundtable. We knew we were limited to what we could do, and the focus was reducing the queue times and making faction play more accessible.
Can we just have a real moment here? I mean, the reality of it is, and Russ even said this, is you've got so many different, you have people that want one thing and you have people that want another. And the problem is, like, where do you see a common ground, right? And me and you have talked about this specifically, which is you have people that want the hardcore logistics aspects of like MBT. You want people that only want group play. You want organized matches kicking off, blah, blah. And then on the other hand, you have, casual players that want to experience this as well. And then all that happens in between. So he's even said, maybe, just maybe, this gets CW to the point where, hey, we can now focus on, a few other things, and he's mentioned a few things like game modes and stuff that would be outside.
Well, the next step is really, this was kind of the infrastructure. This update was mostly about infrastructure. The next step is kind of more the fun stuff. What makes faction play engaging and a challenge and different and so forth. So again, it's the beginning with more to follow. And, I've had a lot of community members coming to me privately since we returned from MetCon asking, what's the timetable? What's the time frame? When is this next step going to happen? The next roundtable, etc. I can't be specific because it's the holidays. We're already halfway through December. People are leaving the office already. But what we're going to try to do, and this is just a goal, is get a podcast of some sort with Russ, kind of touching on what can happen with the next round of faction play updates. And this would be a pre-roundtable podcast where he just kind of lays it out. These are some things that we can do in reality, you know, for a timely update or whatever. So maybe next week, again,
But I mean,
difficult because of
even
Christmas.
then, I don't see anything happening
Nothing's happening. I'm
until
just saying
January,
it's
February.
just a
Yeah, I
discussion.
mean,
And then
because
the
you just don't
next
have time.
step, yeah, of course. And then the next step would be, again, the community taking this information that we get from Russ. Is possible? What should we look towards as far as this next step? And the community kind of having their own roundtable, coming to a consensus, you know, forming their thoughts, bullet points, etc., just like we did last time, so that they can be well spoken when they come to Russ at the official roundtable. It can be presented in a way that is easy to understand, and we can actually get some traction and make some changes based on that. All of this I would love to have happen by the end of January. In other words, have the podcast, have the community roundtable, and then have the official roundtable by the end of January. This doesn't mean changes are happening by the end of January. It's just these discussions. So that is our goal. Whether it happens in that time frame or not is dependent on the
Well,
holidays and people's availability.
and I think this is sort of I guess a good time for 4.1 to come out anyways, because everyone, I mean, if you're in college, you're probably already on break, right? And people are going on holiday anyways. So it's one of those where a lot of people can get time on target. And, you know, the question I've already sort of, we're sort of getting sidetracked here, but, you know, how are the changes being received? Patch is happening tomorrow that fixes some of this stuff. So again, I'm going to dive into it personally, check it out. But, you know, is this something that the community can say, you know what? The changes are net positive. There are some issues that we see, maybe some quick fixes, but in general, we can be, I guess, entertained for a while, and until maybe some of
Well,
those
at least
changes
it
can come
gives us
in.
something that's playable. You know, I mean, like people were just dropping and getting matches. It was, you know, 5 minutes or whatever, and we were getting into matches. So I think it's playable now. There's a lot of changes that are really cool. You need to check them out. All the, you know, basically everything that we went over. But anyway, future changes, 4.2, 4.3, whatever, as far as faction play are coming. It's not, you know, soon trademark or whatever. It is hit the ground running. Hopefully we'll get a podcast in with Russ before the end of the month. But if not, we're going to get as much stuff done in January as possible. Move forward. Keep making faction play better until we reach some sort of consensus that it is at a good state. And
Well,
it's not there right now.
to be fair, and I think that's the hardest thing to do is I think there are some people that just will never like it, for, you know, their reasons, and that's where I feel like the community can step in, and you do have outside leagues
Absolutely.
and stuff like that as well. So, and
Absolutely.
that may not be the best answer, but that's just the reality, because I mean, it's such a huge undertaking.
Speaking of the holidays, though, this is going to be a quick tangent because Malgus Kerensky is asking the important MWO question: is, will Darren stream the Candy Cane mech during the holidays again? The answer is I already have been. I have been for quite a while. I've been out there just dropping random battles, mostly solo. And if you kill me, you're getting a dev kill medallion and 500 MC. And I've given him out to probably a dozen people or whatever over the last couple weeks.
He's like the mech
And
Oprah, you know, like.
well, and I'm going to be doing this a lot through the holidays. I'm going to be out there giving as much stuff away as possible, having fun with you guys. I love doing it. But the funny thing is, there's people out there that just don't believe that it's real. They're like in chat, they're going, you know, fuck you, this is bullshit, you're lying, you're full of it, or whatever. They don't really think that I'm doing this. And so there's been at least a half a dozen people who could have gotten a dev kill medallion and 500 MC if they had just followed my simple rules for getting them. So if you see me out there and you see me post my little message in game, it is true. I'm giving that stuff away.
So
come hunt
when
me.
someone kills you, they're supposed to contact you via in-game,
Yes.
right? Add you.
They have to message me, you know, friend me, and then message me in game after the match, and then I hook them up with the code and get them the medallion. But
There you have it.
yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to the holidays and playing with you guys. But that is the end of the tangent. Or
All right,
the
so
sidetrack.
and then on the next we have the new escort game mode. It's
Let
sort
me
of.
read this just real quick, and then you give me your
Are you
opinion
gonna read
on
the
it.
entire patch notes? Is that what you're doing right now?
Pretty much. Just to let everybody know, because maybe some people haven't checked it out yet. Escort is a brand new asymmetric game mode for quick play. Teams are assigned to the role of either the attacker or the defender with separate objectives and win conditions for each side. The defenders must ensure that the AI-controlled Atlas VIP reaches its destination at the extraction zone in time for extraction. The attackers must do whatever they can to stop the defenders from achieving this goal. So, what do you think so
Oh,
far?
sorry. I was in a trance, you know.
Oh, are you? Okay, well
Yeah.
then I'll finish. Support towers. Each map contains an array of capturable support towers at the start of an escort match. All of these support towers are under control of the defending team. To capture a support tower, a mech must stand within its capture radius 30 meters by default. And there's also defense turrets. Each map contains an array of defense turrets, up to a maximum of 9 per map, depending on the size of the map, I'm assuming. These turrets will aid the defenders by attacking enemy forces within their radius. Now, that's all I'm going to read as far as escort game mode. There was a lot of, I think, a lot of
Anticipation.
opinions, yeah, and like a lot of pre-experience opinions about what this game mode was going to be like. So I'm not going to say my opinion. I want to just hear you. What are your experiences? What are your opinion
So
of the new escort game
I
mode?
got to play 3 or 4 defending last night and 1 attacking. The one thing right off the bat is that if you're defending, it's actually better to be the aggressor, and you go find. And the nice thing is you're supported by those sensor towers and ECM and all that, so you know where they're coming from. So the nice thing is they don't know where you're at, and they don't know where your VIP is at, and your VIP has ECM because he's an Atlas DDC. So to me and my guys that I was dropping with, it was better to be the aggressor while maintaining at least 1 or 2 mechs near the VIP at all times, because what we quickly found out is VIP will just fucking, oh, look, squirrel, and just it'll just turn and go like. And again, it is AI controlled. I think, from point A to point B. I don't know if it's like the lesser, like there's enemy forces, so he just goes the other direction or goes towards. All I know is that last night it was fun. Now, whether or not it'll be fun in a week or 2, I can't say. But what I will say is that it kept us on our toes, and it made for some interesting matches, specifically the one on Crimson Straits, where VIP decided, oh, I'm going to go left, which it was away from the enemies. He went up the saddle. The enemies had turned around and went underneath the platform, and VIP said, you know what? I've got to get from point A to point B, and the enemy team's in my way. I'm just gonna go. And it was like, well, protect the VIP. And like literally, it was like, oh shit, we're probably gonna lose because this dude's crazy. And then I just want to point out, someone made an amazing comment on the YouTube section on this video. The combination of the original Mech Commander mission when you have to escort the Atlas, and I was like, oh my god, this is so it. The escorting Atlas pilot, how dumb he is in this, and then this. Anyways, it was quite enjoyable. I don't know what it'll be
A
like.
tip of the hat to Mech Commander, I guess it was.
I don't know. To me, there's a few things pop in. I think it'd be great if the Atlas actually engaged, with weapons. I think that would be great. I don't know if that's something that's down the road, maybe, and maybe it's just right now it's a technical or AI or something like that. I do think that would be fantastic. So it adds a little bit more strength to the sort of defending him. 2, maybe quite possibly they could tie it into being able to, I don't know who, maybe it'd be the company commander or whatever, to help sort of choose the routes. Maybe you can sort of plan routes when you hit B and pull that up. They could, something like Battlefield 2, right? The commander sort of role, like someone. So maybe it helps plan, like, oh shit, the enemies are coming over here. Tell them to go. There are some things. Maybe there's multiple mechs. I know some people were tossing out that idea to where it's not just one VIP. It's maybe a few. But overall, my experience when defending was enjoyable, sometimes a little bit hectic. Attacking, we killed the VIP right off the bat, but it was because they weren't paying attention to where he was going, and he broke to the left, and they just continued going to the right, and they left him wide open. Now, the only issue I have right now with the VIP as far as that, and I've already brought it up, is that your rewards for actually killing the VIP, there's no, like, if you do the objective and kill the VIP and you just so happen to not kill any mechs, you earn nothing. So that's sort of disheartening from a player standpoint. Is I just right, we're the attacking team. We're supposed to kill VIP. We just killed him. I literally could have made more money just ignoring him and killing all the other stuff, right? So like, I feel like that needs to be
Aren't we
balanced.
all gazillionaires? Is everything come down to money?
Well, no, but
I don't know.
there's no like so we have an objective,
Fun,
but there's no
but anyway,
reward
yeah,
for doing the objective. And if you
yeah. No,
do
I
the
agree. I
objective, you're
agree.
penalized for a lack of reward. Now, I get it that you don't want. Again, I don't have an answer right off the top of my head because
Right, as to what to do to
yeah,
change it.
is it the longer he stays alive, the more reward the defenders gets, or is it the like and you don't know necessarily if you're getting escort anyways, right? So it's not like you can just plan your drop decks and group and all that. But I had a good time. And to me, the one thing that pops in my mind, and I've seen some sort of critiquing already out there in the community, is this is actual AI. We have AI in the game, so where does this go? And like I said, can he engage back? What if we have vehicles? What if there's multiple mechs? What if I mean that's where I'm sort of intrigued. Does it always have to be a mech on something like escort as well? That's another thing. So
Yeah, I mean, basically where I'm at with it is that this is baby AI. This is the first implementation of AI in MechWarrior Online, and it is obviously very rudimentary. Now, somebody said that it's a predestined path or whatever. I kind of think otherwise. I feel like I've seen it determining its path. I've seen it turn right around and go the other way. Now, whether that was predestined or not, I don't know. But I feel like there's some,
we'll see.
you know,
And
what?
that's what we don't know is like if
Yeah,
the
we don't
AI
know that.
chooses from point A to point B, if it's like 50% away, it can change its mind, or is it
Yeah,
just
who
I
knows?
have to get to point A to point B
We
and
obviously need to get some programmers or whatever in here to ask specifics about that. But again, I think I just see this as baby AI. I see it, first of all, as far as this game mode itself, there's a lot of ways it can be tweaked. The durability of the Atlas can be tweaked, just like you said. Whether it's firing back can be tweaked. The dropship can be tweaked. More firepower, less firepower, turrets, all that stuff. I feel like there's a lot of room for tweaking on this
but you
game
know
mode,
what?
so that after
It's fun. Like out of the 4 matches, 5 matches that we had, actually the attacking one was probably the least enjoyable just because the team screwed up and not us,
but
right?
that could be
But
situational.
right, yeah.
But
And so
but
out of
anyway,
all the
but
matches, it was actually really enjoyable. Even as a group, like all
mhm.
of us were laughing when that Crimson Straight when he Leroyed into the group. We actually won that, but I literally threw myself in front of him and I died, but we accomplished the mission. So it was enjoyable. So for what that's worth, now again, will that wear off in a week or two? I
Who
don't know.
knows? But and if it does, will there be improvements that make it fresh and new again? And I feel like there's tons of room for growth as far as AI goes, from adding additional mechs to adding vehicles to adding whatever, or subtracting or whatever, just to balance the game mode out. Now, yeah, obviously, where we are in a month, 6 months from now, who knows where it's going to be? People still have dropping in, having no idea what they're doing, or sometimes dropping in and everybody knows what they're doing and it's one sided. But I dropped 12 escort matches approximately since it's come out. And two of them were okay, and 10 of them were just off the charts fun. Like I had,
Were you dropping by
dropping.
yourself or were you doing
I was
groups?
dropping solo and I was dropping with aces with my unit. So I did both. I experienced group, I experienced solo, and I just had an amazing time. It was different. It was fun. It was exciting. It was intense. It was, again, you could think things are going well, and then he decides to flip a Yui, and everything changes. Goes like going over the saddle in what you're saying, Crimson Straight, and deciding to go freaking under the platform right to the tunnel where the whole entire enemy team happened to be sitting there waiting for it, and so it changed everything real quick. So it was very dynamic to me and just a lot of fucking fun. I so far love it. Now, where will it be in 2 weeks, 6 months, whatever? We'll see. But I feel again that there's just tons of room for improvement, and the AI will keep getting better. It will keep learning, and one day it will rise and take
Skynet,
over the
yeah,
world.
right. No, and like I said, from the few matches, uh, we had a good time last night with it. Um, And again, it kept it fresh. We definitely didn't know what to expect. Now that's a concern, obviously, is the community is the community. We will find, oh, hey, we know that if we start the map and within a few minutes, if it's never in this, coordinates, then it had to have gone this way, and we always know the path. So that's what's going to be interesting is like, can the community figure out where the pathing goes? And, right off the bat, you get your scouts, okay, it's not in this quadrant. It's always going to
You
be
know
this
what?
way. So
I feel like we should get I don't know, Windover, somebody on in January to talk about AI. Somebody that's been working with it, because there are too many questions. Is it predetermined? Is
well,
it making choices on
and
the fly?
even if those questions are answered, obviously we know that behind the scenes, those are things that they're gonna have to deal with. Is saying the most enjoyable thing about VIP is that VIP has to be dynamic and be able to change. And then what can the players do to impact again? Maybe something like Battlefield 2, can someone actually sort of help choose the path and dynamically, or will the Atlas chill out if you're engaging in front of it, or will it just plow on through? Will the Atlas be able to engage as well? What, is there just one mech? Is there two mechs? Is the Atlas going to be the only mech? I mean, so
Look who's in chat.
yeah, there he is. Speaking of
Did I
which,
did I did I accidentally dial the bat phone or something?
yeah.
Windover, Brian Windover, right there. So maybe if you guys have questions, specific questions, you can ask him
Well, maybe
directly.
maybe we should have him on we haven't done mixed divs and beer in a while. Maybe
Yeah, we haven't.
yeah. He does like beer. Actually, yeah, he definitely likes beer. Yeah.
Brian knows how to party, but anyway, I mean, there are a lot of questions in the community, and the questions that obviously Phil and I don't have all the answers to. So either you can ask him there, and
One
he'll
thing
answer right
I
now.
thought what was really cool is that you actually have captural ECM locations and you have
Yep.
turrets that you can engage and shoot. So to me, it's an overall step forward. And again, I had fun. Me and the guys had fun. It kept us on our toes. We were laughing, and again, my biggest thing is rewarding the players for doing the objective. If we're keeping the AI alive, or if we're trying to kill the VIP, the rewards have to be there. I don't know how or what, but if anything, without those type of things, it just reinforces the normal gameplay that you see, which is ball up, kill the other team, and then worry about the objectives if there's any, because they're second or tertiary.
Brian is confirming that AI can fire, however, it is a basic fire system at this point. So, guys, if you have AI specific questions, you can direct them at PGI_Brian_W right now in chat. He'll answer them for you, hopefully, maybe, if he's kind enough. Thank you, Brian, for being here. He is a confirmed lurker. But anyway, let's move on. I think both you and I can say we had a very
I'm
positive experience
intrigued,
with it. Yeah,
and I'm
to see where it goes,
and
right?
I'm even more intrigued with the skill tree changes coming in the future as well.
Right, right, right. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of things affect each other and domino effects and so forth. But anyway, let's move on because we do have a timetable. The
Do
next
we?
one, well, yes, I have a timetable.
What?
I don't, no more 2 hour
Well,
podcast.
no, we're already in an hour. I mean, might as well go to two. I mean, what's two?
Next topic, the Marauder 2C.
Love it.
I'm gonna do a little.
No,
We'll get there. We'll get there. Hold on.
it's just love.
It's just love. So Phil's opinion, just love, derived from the exceptional and iconic. Have to agree with all that. Marauder chassis. This 85-ton clan assault mech, a full 10 tons heavier than its Inner predecessor, is likely to be a devastating presence on the battlefields of the Inner I can already confirm it is a devastating presence. The only Mad 2C variant with any quirks applied is a Mad Cat 2C-8.
Mad Cat?
Which Mad Cat. Marauder, I don't know, Mad. The Marauder 2C-8, which possesses a solitary missile cooldown quirk of 15%. So only one variant, the 8,
It doesn't
has
need
a quirk.
the mech doesn't need quirks. It's
Yeah,
so
which
funny.
really didn't need it, I guess.
Well, someone was like, I was on Discord and they're like, "Why does this one mech?" And I'm like, "It's one missile hardpoint. It's the same problem as like a grasshopper. You're never going to use it. Let's be honest here. And for those that play maybe it's stock loadout, it gets a boost. But let's be real here." And they're like, "Well, it's a good point." I'm like, "Yeah,
I did
like."
not just confirm the Mad Cat 2C.
Look, I knew this mech was going to be good before it came out. I knew it was going to be good when I started playing with it on behind the scenes.
Is it a film mech?
It's an 85-ton jump capable on 2 variants. I did screw up on that video, by the way. The B also has jump jets. I totally
Right.
missed that one. And one has ECM. It can do. I did dual gas, dual peep. It can do dual UAC 10s and dual peeps. It can do. Dual LBX 20s and 4 SRAM 6s. Like it
Dude, the
can.
thing is freaking beast. I love it.
And
I'm
not.
having so much fun, and it's a freaking clan mech. I'm actually a little bit ashamed.
And it goes in with an XL400. It goes 82 kph. And people are like, why does it have quirks? Well, the fuck do you think it
Come
doesn't have
on.
quirks? Like it was gonna be so it does, and again the Marauder 2C it brings to light, and this is why I'm looking forward to the skill tree in many ways, is where are the balances between clan and IS, and where do we need to see some of those baseline changes. But as far as a performer, loved it. It grew on me as I was playing. The more and more I looked at it, it looks pretty freaking cool. Like
Oh,
I don't
dude, come on. The thing
like.
is sex on backwards legs. Yeah, I mean it is an awesome mech, I think, in every way. Just aesthetically, it looks amazing. So there's some people out there that don't agree, but I think the vast majority think it is incredibly
It's
sexy.
organic instead of like, and that's one thing that
Sure.
yeah, right, it's round,
Yep.
it's not the square blocky of like the Highlander 2C or the Ryan 2C.
It kind of reminds me of the Rescene version of the Marauder or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like the Jenner 2C. The Jenner 2C is organic, right? And then you had the three others that were very blocky and just sort of square. And then you have this come out of nowhere, and it's like, oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like it. As far as performer, I can't say whether it's going to be a top performer or not, but I can tell you for an 85-ton mech being able to bring the payload of what normally a 95 or 100-tonner is doing at the speed it's doing, obviously with clan tech as well, it's great. It's going to be up there.
Well, you know
So
where my heart lies. My two favorite mechs are my Warhammer and my Inner Sphere Marauder. But I am having a blast in this, and I probably will be running it through the holidays. I'll be decked out in my holiday paint jobs and so forth. So I'll be easy to see. But I will say that the Marauder 2C was endorsed by Proton, one of, if not the best player in MWO. And he said it's going to be one of his favorites and perhaps one of the best
and
assaults out there. Now, somebody in chat said anything it can do, the Kodiak can do better. My only response is the Kodiak's 15 more tons, so whatever.
well, and that's sort of, I guess, an inherent problem in MWO when you just say, well, what is just the best mech? Well,
Yeah.
if it's just the best mech, then it narrows that down. Now, as soon as you get into what happens in MRBC or any type of Solaris, stuff that's going on, or any type of league that there's weight class restrictions and or tonnage restrictions or limited quantity of X, then you could say, well, why would I ever take, I can do much more with this 85, less expensive, stuff like that, than I can do with the 100 or whatever. So,
Oh yeah, Kodiak
mounts,
can't DCM, right?
uh,
There's one thing.
the mounts as well, they're relatively mid to high. Yes, it does have arm mounts that are a little bit lower than the cockpit, but what I find is it's just like the original Marauder, which is because they're close together, you don't have as much problems with hitting the dirt as where you're looking as well. And it's the question a lot of people were asking is what's going to happen to the Warhawk. The Warhawk can do a few things that it can't do, but the question is, will it just totally obscure the Warhawk? And that's something that I think we as the community still don't know. Yeah, it's a damn good mech.
Yeah, and of course I know that Proton loves to troll us plebs out here, but I'm just having fun with my boy Proton.
Darren's got a total man crush. That's how it
I
is.
do. He was one of the few people I got a picture with at MechCon. Not because I didn't want to get pictures with other people, but because of time. But anyway,
He doesn't love
I
any of you guys.
loved this mech. I'm loving this mech. I'm riding this mech right now. You can't see me, but I'm riding it, and I'll be using it through the holidays. And yes, all of mine are salvaged. But do you have anything more to say about the
Kaniashi,
Marauders?
you are totally incorrect. The Warhawk can do one thing very, 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 very
Learn
well. Oh yeah,
Yeah, run boat the hell
the
out of that
Mad
thing, right?
2C can't do that. Now,
No.
yes, Solaris Coliseum 1v1. We saw this, and actually we didn't see it until Saturday morning, or no, it was the day before, Friday. Yes,
Built
Friday.
from an obsolete blue granite quarry on Solaris 7 for competitive and demonstrative or demonstrated, yeah, anyway,
Words.
for demonstrations. The Steiner Coliseum is our first Solaris themed private lobby 1v1 map. Mech warriors will enter the Coliseum from underground elevators. It's really cool, actually. Taking to the battlefield in intense one-on-one matches surrounded by the fanfare of a Solaris Coliseum. So the main point of what I just read, our first Solaris themed private lobby map. So what are your thoughts, Solaris Coliseum?
When I first got to play
Steiner
it,
Coliseum, not Solaris Coliseum. Steiner Coliseum, not Mad Cat, Marauder.
to
Mixing
me,
words.
that elevator trip on the way up. What I'd like to see is those type of dynamic abilities while you can actually play in a map. So, for instance, and not necessarily just the Coliseum Steiners or Solaris style maps, but to me, what if to get to certain platforms you could hop onto a quick little elevator or a little train to take, you know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying,
yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah, yeah.
that
I hear you.
I could hop on. Imagine like Canyon Network
A
and
train,
yeah, just sort of like a flatbed, and it would take you over there really quickly, and you
mech
could
movers.
reposition. Yeah, and to me, the aesthetics, obviously it looked cool. I mean, they did a good job with textures. Shout out to again Elizabeth and Dennis on that. And again, apologize to Elizabeth. I really felt bad. I didn't want to ask her anything she would get in trouble with, So, and Dennis was a few martinis in, so he was wanting to talk. You just, yeah,
Dennis is a great guy.
But no, to me, aesthetically, the sounds, the one thing, and I think the community will get behind me on this, and you will as well. You need
Hey, mech fans.
Duncan Fisher
Duncan Fisher here. Yeah.
fucking just go like Russ, make it like it has to
Oh, we'll make it happen. But
it need like right now. Just stop everything.
yeah.
Just go.
All right, let's stop
No,
the
no. I'm
podcast. Let's
it,
go get.
like seriously. I mean it would add a layer of you know just immersion and sort of authentication to the entire thing. And like we had it MechWarrior Living Legends. Like I remember being like, you'd be coming up the gates would be opening, and I would have spawned like a Timberwolf, and he'd be like, oh, looks like he brought out the Mad Kitty, and I'm like, god dang it, why'd you ruin it? And
I have to say, because we brought up George, that was one of my favorite moments at MechCon when we did that shout out at the beginning and he did his call out. Oh my God, finally, is all I can say. We got some Duncan Fisher. But yeah, 2 points I'd like to make as far as the Steiner Coliseum. One is, I think Bandit was saying that it needs a invisible wall pass. It needs quite a few passes. Keep in mind, people, this map was rushed out. In fact, it wasn't even going to be done to the extent that it was done. It was going to use pre-existing assets. In other words, pieces of maps that we've already seen. But Elizabeth and Dennis went above and beyond and created new assets to create this map in time for MechCon. So it really was rushed out. I'm sure it's going to receive all the passes. In fact, there's some tweaks that are happening in the hotfix tomorrow. So it'll continue getting tweaks. And again, this is just the beginning. This is Steiner Coliseum. We've still got Boreal Reach, we've got the factory, we've got Ishiyama, and we've got the jungle.
well,
So that's
and that
four more that could be totally different, play different,
and
etc.
that's where I like me as a fan. I really want whoever's working, and even with the Steiner Coliseum, if I can just be, I'm just gonna be real. I want them to do what's in the novels or in the TROs. Like these aren't just static coliseums for the most part. There's certain levels that look a specific way for a reason, or there's even dynamic things that change on the coliseums. So I want that. Yes, it's cool that you guys are creating a new level, but when each house has a specific and unique look and way, I feel like that should be brought to light. That's one of those things where like the translation from the lore, I think would do really well.
See you, Windover. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it, and have a safe drive home or travel home. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Which was a coliseum that in the novels at least was like a series of underground caves? There was
And
like a mountain.
tunnels. There's a bunch of
Yeah,
them that
was that Ishiyama?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't remember. But anyway, I mean, the possibility, yes, I agree. Dynamic maps would be awesome. I want to see, different play styles. It's pretty hard on the Steiner Coliseum to play the long range game. You're able to close distance pretty quickly. We were seeing that a lot in the
Well,
1v1
and it's a 1v1
tournament last night.
Like
Yeah.
that's that's gonna
That's
happen.
the other thing about this is I would really like to see these maps opened up. I don't like hard limits like 1v1 only. I'd at least like to see 2v2, but what I'd really prefer is up to 4v4 on these
Well, why
Solaris maps.
why is there? And I guess this is just more of a question. Why is there a limit at all when it's a private match?
Well, we know why, though, right? The reason that there's a limit right now, currently, is because they were
No, I know,
designing
but
this just
going
for the 1v1 at
but
MetCon.
that's what I'm saying is going forward though of saying let the players decide. Maybe they just want a straight up 12v12 just brawl or whatever going on. I think that ability should be there. Obviously, I know there's some limitations maybe with the ladder or the elevator coming up, but hey,
They could put two elevators side by side, and then there you got four people popping up. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see those grow and have a little bit more flexibility, so that the community can really take them and run and do whatever types of player run tournaments they want to do. But I like the direction. I like the trend. I want to see more, and I want to hear Duncan, and yeah, all that.
my biggest thing was Duncan Fisher. That would just yeah.
Hey, he's a part of the family now, man. He was at the first official MetCon, the first annual, and so I hope we can hear him. Such an awesome guy. I was so glad to be able to hang out with George. So that's going to wrap up basically the Steiner Coliseum aspect and really what happened in the patch. Although, again, so much in the patch. It was just trying to figure out what we were going to talk about today. It's crazy. I'm going to link the patch notes again. Definitely recommend that you read them yourself.
It's lengthy. So.
Get a nice
pull it up on your phone while
nice
yeah.
Anyway, tons and tons of stuff. I love these patches, man. I love these the monthly patches. In my opinion, we haven't really talked about this. Really,
instead of every 2 weeks.
Instead of every 2 weeks, I feel like they're just doing so much more now, and I like that. But as Windover just mentioned, there is a hotfix tomorrow, December 15th. That's Thursday, December 15th, planned for 3 p.m. Pacific, PDT, 6 p.m. EDT, and 11 p.m. UTC for all you UTC peoples out there. What's in it? Lots of faction play fixes. It's majority of it is faction play fixes. There are HUD fixes coming, which this is a big one. Phil, you want to tell them what this one is?
Sorry, I was just giving
the
thumbs
HUD
up.
Fix, the big one, the pressing
yeah.
Q.
So those Doritos above your head when you first start.
Diamonds, not Doritos.
No,
really,
they're
right?
Doritos. They're all Doritos. The bigger Doritos, smaller Doritos, things
okay.
and things.
You have weird shaped Doritos in North Carolina, but anyway.
No. So, anyways, Flutter. I know a lot of Reddit's been full of it. Those are now being transferred to when you press the Q button. Fantastic. I think it solves pretty much what everyone, and it's tough because even the discussions that I saw, people were split like 50-50. For the most part, most people were saying, love the information, but I can't see shit now. There's just stuff everywhere. I 100% agree. So now the Doritos pressing Q, the information's there. And this sort of brings up another thing too when it comes to like UI and stuff. And I've said this, visibility to the player. Even without the Doritos, when I'm targeting, sometimes that stuff isn't very transparent, and I've missed shots because of it as well. So I feel like that's something that can be talked about as well. But the ranch Doritos will now,
and that's a big one. I've been listening to people since the patch went live, and I've heard that over and over and over again. Just too much clutter. So now you just press and hold Q if you want to see that stuff. You let go if you don't, and the clutter is gone.
Now
so,
I do believe
instant fix.
If it's in your line of sight, the Dorito will still pop up.
Yes, if you're mousing over them or whatever, right?
You just won't see friggin' like Doritos everywhere,
right.
Even if they're behind cover and stuff. Yeah.
And so that was a big one.
And I feel like if anything, the size of it really didn't change too on the distance to the target, and that was another thing that's like it's like up in your face and some more stuff. And because there's no transparency at all, it just blocked a lot. And so if anything, that will be reduced significantly.
There's a little mention of being able to customize what is shown when you press Q. Like World of Tanks, you can completely customize the UI and what is shown on your HUD and so forth. I would like to see that as well. And
What would you
that's
remove?
something I don't know. I'd have to see. You go in and you can, like there's usually like with World of Tanks, when you go into the settings, it shows you everything that can be shown. You can handpick what you want to be shown, what you don't want to be shown. I'd love to see something like that here as well.
And
And if you want that to happen, going into this new year, Russ is going to be very open to taking community feedback, and I'm sure there will be quality of life issues or features that people want. So be sure to bring that up. If that's something big and something important to you, then bring it up.
And I think that's, again, another thing where sometimes the community is so polar, where you have some people that say, hey, I love this information. It doesn't bother me one bit. And then you have another person that's like, you just added more clutter. Why'd you do that? And then, so, like, when I was looking at it, I really didn't care. Like, as far as, like, they could have left it out and I wouldn't even care. Like, for instance, if I see a direwolf, I know it's a direwolf, or a warhawk at a glance. Either or, I know it's a fucking assault mech. Like, I didn't need a Dorito to tell me that. And I think
Well,
there's
somebody just brought up something.
well,
Actually, it was Salama.
and that's what I was saying is if it's a toggable option,
Yeah,
or press Q. But even if you could turn off stuff on UI elements that you don't want at all, I'm down for that. Just make it an option to where it just turns off, and then I don't have to worry. Because even Q, I don't need that information. Me as a player, I know the difference between a spider
sure, dude. I'm
and
not
an
gonna use
assault.
it either.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, just because you or I
No, no, and
or
that's what I
Joe or
say. I
Schmo,
think the toggle is
right?
the great solution
I
for
think
everyone.
toggle is a great first step, because that gets rid of the emergency situation that a lot of people were feeling yesterday when the patch went live, today, etc. Oh my God, all this clutter. What can I do? Well, now there's that. There's a toggle, at least, or holding down Q. So now you can get
See,
rid of it.
that's what's funny.
But
Chat, like so many people. There's some people that are like, I hate it, and literally you have people that are like, I actually
well,
like the
and
new.
so that's
You're
why
right.
you make
Yeah,
choices. And
choices.
so
Yeah.
what I would like to see is fully customizable and going even further, which Salama touched on, which is including for real actual colorblind options
Well,
and
no,
fixes.
I'm gonna
So,
take it a step further.
oh shit,
I'm gonna say
what's
when
a
you go
step
to
further?
options and you go to UI, it actually shows you a live demonstration of UI, and that one you can change the colors, you can change maybe the width or contrast and this, and maybe even I'm gonna toss this out there. I think this is far fetched, which is like being able to move stuff around. I don't think that's gonna happen,
Oh, you're
but
fucking crazy, man.
But I do think that's quite possible to say now you've got an image of a mech and a mech, the
Now we're
cockpit.
just wish listing.
I think it make it happen and let it be so.
All right, but
The
anyway,
beard
you know
commands it.
what? We did get off topic a little bit. So
No, we
anyway,
didn't.
fixing Q or using Q is fixing the HUD issue and the clutter.
Yes.
Also, HPG manifold. Some people noticed in the quick play that the walls that aren't supposed to show up until the next patch, is it next patch? I don't know. Whenever the new assault mode is going in, the assault walls were showing up on HPG manifold. I didn't personally experience that. But that will be those will be removed in the hotfix. And the last thing is for anybody that was playing around with Steiner Coliseum, if you did move yourself into Bravo or Charlie Lance, you spawned like in heaven or something or hell or whatever, and it broke the match. So that will be fixed as well. The vast majority of the fixes are to faction play, but there are some HUD and other fixes as well. You
So
can read that.
with
I'll drop
this,
the link. You keep going.
and I know we don't have this in our list, but I'm gonna because I told you 2 hours.
Oh shit! No, 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 no.
No, no, no.
What?
No, and this goes along with sort of the Solaris. I was watching the Tau and Siri doing their 1v1 Solaris, and I think this is something that we as the community, I'm not going to say me because it hasn't just been me, but it's been a majority of the player base, and I think it's very pertinent to this case. API system is more pertinent now, I guess, than like I could say yes, it would have been great having it, right? But this just sort of puts the emphasis. We've got the championship, world championship, first round out of the way, you're looking at Solaris, and I know I've talked about this in the last podcast. I just feel like this is something that definitely needs to be stressed and understood. Where
Phil,
what?
there's no discussion here.
Do you agree?
You and I both want APIs.
I know.
And
I
we will
didn't bring it
championing
up
for them.
I didn't bring it up last week.
You just did. What? Oh.
No, I didn't bring it up last week, and I think that's something I know that a lot of you guys feel passionate about. I know I do, and the reason I bring this up is the idea that some people are saying, "Oh, well, I want Solaris in game and all this and blah blah blah," and even like MBT and MRBC and all those. Everything changes if there's an API system, and it makes the reason why I think this is important too is it makes it easier for the community to actually do things instantly instead of having to fiddle around. So I feel like that's something that will be on the
once
docket
again,
discussion.
we want to make sure everybody understands that Phil and I are in favor of API. There, we got it.
I'm just,
I absolutely agree with you. We talked about it last night. API would be amazing,
but I just feel like
a huge. But who are we telling that to right now?
Every one of 154
Phil
people,
wants to be your hero,
and then
guys.
a few thousand.
Thank Phil, he's your
No,
champion.
yes. There, I'll take that one for you guys.
All right, and then so that's the hot fix coming tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. UTC. The final MWO topic, unless we get side railed again, is the holiday event. This is going to be a fun one. It started yesterday. It's the 12 days of Mechmas. So if you haven't checked it out, free stuff for 12 days. Little goals or whatever for every day. I think today is something to do with escort mode. You have to win on, as a defender. And that will get you whatever. Well, why don't I just look? Have you done any of the holiday stuff?
No, I have not. Someone was asking, for those who don't know what API stands for, Application Program Interface. Nerds out there is a set of routines, protocols, and tools for building software applications.
It's a way to spit out information from each match and so forth that, a vast many different types of users can use it for tournaments and leagues and whatever. To give you information.
Context, Libby, it would be like if you do a drop, that, let's just say a private match, it would create a battle log, and you would take that number and then you would plug it into a browser, and that browser would then tell you who was involved, what map, time of day, who did what damage to who, what percentage, what those mechs had on it, who killed who, it would give you basically the whole smorgasbord. And what that allows,
a huge resource that will allow all kinds of things that we can't.
It basically allows the community to fully automate a ton of systems.
If anybody's ever played EVE Online, they make incredible use of the API system there. Allowing communities and kill boards and all kinds of stuff to happen. So something that we're fighting for, and we would love to see happen in 2017. But anyway, the holiday event, the 12 days of Mechmas. Today, it's the second day. You can, if you win an escort match as a defender, you can win an Atlas statue. That's a standing cockpit item. And again, 12 days, 12 different things you can win. That goes from December 13th, yesterday, through, December 14th through December 25th. Then there is the Marauder 2C leaderboard, which starts December 16th and runs through December 20th. And the big one everybody loves is the Stocking Stuffer event, which happens from December 20th to January 4th, which is when you can just get all kinds of free stuff. Again, you can get GXP, you can get MC, you can get mechs, you can get blah, blah, blah. Just tons of fun stuff. So this is the big holiday event all through December, running till January 4th. So be sure to check that out. I put the link in chat. And we can thank Matt Newman. Thank you for that event. And then what? Anything else MWO? If you want to take us on a tangent, now's the time.
Still waiting on that damn new chat system. All right, that's all I got. That's all.
if Phil, if you look over to your left, on the floor, do you have a collection of dead horses?
I never go hungry. That's
right.
But
I know.
Yeah, no. Big patch. Obviously, we've got some time to digest it as well. Holidays are here. Obviously, I don't know when the next patch is gonna be. Actually, that's I don't know what in January that'll be, but Yeah, so
No free mechs this time. So there's no free mechs in this one. Well, that's a bummer. But hey, if you haven't received it yet, there is that NCIX Centurion. Just go to mwmercs.com/redeem, enter NCIX mech, one word, and you get a free mech and mech
so
bay.
let's move on to
Yes.
Hairbrain Schemes BattleTech.
Battletech.
And again,
Battletech.
as I was saying, I totally nerded out. I Jordan
Didn't we
Weisman.
all?
It was pretty cool.
Didn't
And
we all?
you know, like I actually got to play it. Was super excited. And the first thing that popped in my head was, when are we going to be able to stream it? And they said, and I quote, January, February, hopefully, and it'll be a closed beta, but anyone is free to stream it. So
Yes.
playing it,
Yeah, you got to play it.
I was a part of me was like, is it gonna be? Is it gonna be? It's like Mech Commander and the tabletop combined. That's what
It really is.
That's what it reminded me of. Like, obviously you have the turn-based.
So is that a good thing?
Yeah, I think the it was enjoyable because, like, line of sight and flanking and knowing, the sort of infotech, if you will. It was enjoyable. So, and that was an old build, and they were like, you guys are gonna love, melee, and you're gonna, all. So to me, I'm excited because what happens when an Atlas decides to step on a tank? Like, is that gonna be a thing? I think that's gonna be a thing. Like, yeah.
So yeah, basically, this closed beta is for the backers. So if you haven't backed yet, I believe
You still can. Yeah.
So check out, Google HBS, Hairbrain Schemes, BattleTech, etc. You can find their backing page and get into that closed beta. I highly recommend you do, because if you don't, you're going to be jealous of all the people that are playing it and having fun.
Because we are, and you can
We
be
will
jealous. We'll be right here. We had someone just ask about MechWarrior Tactics. To me, this is exactly why
This is what Tactics should have been.
well, this is why it's so
glad
important
it
having the
wasn't.
developer that knows the IP, knows their audience members and demographic. Look, if you're talking about the BattleTech fan base, it's I mean, 40 years old, 30 plus, right? I mean, really, that's your demographic, and your demographic of that age wants that sort of tabletop, but obviously updated. They want that. They don't want a card trading game like they tried to do Spin It, and the mechs were completely different. Like, we tried, and anyways, it's nice having. Yeah, I'm excited. Now, I will admit, like, I still am dreaming of a Mech Commander, 3, but
Phil's dreaming
you know what
of
I'm
a mech commander.
you know what I'm looking forward to?
for
Iron Man.
Christmas.
And I'm gonna create a, like,
Oh, yeah.
Hall of Warrior, like, image, so everybody who dies will be
Iron Man mode in
memorialized.
BattleTech, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there's so much freaking to look forward to this game. First of all, I don't even want to bring up tactics anymore. It is what it was, or what is what it is, or was what it was. I'm glad it's freaking gone. I'm glad it's dead. To have Jordan Wiseman and Mitch Gittleman and Hairbrain Schemes doing a top-down, turn-based BattleTech game from the creators of freaking BattleTech and Mech Commander, 100 million times better than what Tactics could have ever been.
And
So,
I think it was Mitch that said it, and I'm on 100% agreement when he said, isn't it nice that all aesthetically the mechs cross-platform, basically cross games,
yeah,
and that the sort of
somebody
art
said-
direction.
I mean, I guess everything is subjective, but somebody was complaining about that. I heard one person complain about the look. I'm like, wow. But anyway, you, sir, whoever that was, have a different opinion than the majority out there. But yeah, I'm super glad, because, look at the last 30 years of mech design. It's been all over the freaking place. Again, I didn't want to bring up tactics, but bleh.
Well,
So I am so glad that we have Alex Iglesias designing the mechs, and it's going across platform.
It didn't bother me in Mech Commander, because there was a aesthetic difference between the original Mech Commander and MechWarrior 3 and MechWarrior 4, but I was okay with that. I think really the biggest crossover is that tactics itself. It was just, and it was one of those things where and I remember saying this, is I could look past it if the gameplay was good, right? Like, but yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's super exciting. And you know, another thing that's exciting is seeing the BattleTech universe brought to life, right? We've never, all we've got is that Tiro artwork, if you will, right? Sort of showing a mech warrior that looks like a Mad Max, you know, sort of 80s take on it. So, which is okay in its own right, but it's nice to see the BattleTech universe being presented in a updated form, if you will. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I'm excited. You know, like I was telling people at MechCon, what a fucking time to be a BattleTech MechWarrior fan. You got Catalyst Game Labs doing new minis and expanding the rule books and source books and novels and potentially even prequels, like for example, Grayson Carlisle's
That's a
father.
good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a great story idea. So a lot of stuff going on with Catalyst, Harebrained Schemes coming out with BattleTech in 2017, MechWarrior 5 Mercs in 2018. um and continued updates obviously to MWO. It's just a good time to be doing what we're doing, and very exciting. Also, speaking of just BattleTech MechWarrior things, merchandise,
Yep.
for those of you who don't know, a deal was finally worked out with Tops for Harebrained and Catalyst and PGI to do some merchandise. So this will be, it's not up yet, but I'll drop the link in chat anyway.
And some people were asking if it's actually legit. It is, but it's not live yet. But we
What's
did
that?
get a
Yeah.
glimpse.
It's battletechgear.com. Yeah. It's a placeholder right now. It will go live soon. They're just working out the kinks or whatever. But there's going to be actual official BattleTech gear and merchandise.
Well,
yes, I'll be buying all of it.
that Atlas,
That
that
Atlas,
resin.
man.
Now I don't know.
Holy.
I don't know if it's a final price, but it was listed at 150. To be honest,
Well, it was moving around, but yeah,
that was cheaper than I was expecting. I was expecting at least
right?
$200.
Yeah.
And because
And it was beautiful. I mean,
yeah, it's fully painted.
oh,
Yeah. It's
I want that for like right here.
People were already ordering stuff, and they were getting sent emails saying, "Hey, we appreciate your enthusiasm, but sorry, not yet."
Yeah.
But yeah. So overall, and of course, we have MechWarrior 5, and you know, I think that sort of speaks for itself. It's a good time to be a BattleTech fan. That's for damn sure. I mean, I thought they were gonna pull. The first time we saw it and the MechWarrior 5 mercenaries popped up, I thought they were going to pull the whole, you know, just look at the, you know, this way, kid, you get to keep all the money. I almost thought they were going to totally copy that line, which they did very similar anyways, right? But to me, I was just like, holy shit, you know? So yeah, I mean, just think about this too, graphic-wise. Remember, like, the first time seeing the MechWarrior 2 mercenaries and Ghost Bearer intros and all those, and I remember being a teenager and going, man, I can't wait till games look like that. Now you've got the games, that in-game footage, and it's just like, it's crazy. So, yeah.
It is indeed.
But yeah, I just want to say again, thank you to everyone. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. Again, don't know if we'll have another one. As Darren said, we will let you guys know.
We're going to do our best to do something again this month, but if we don't, then we'll be coming to you in 2017.
Yeah, that'll be a thing. And of course,
another year, man.
Yeah, another one.
How many have we done with the? Yeah, it's been
6.
Time is flying by.
6 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Did you already do our shout out?
No. Again, speaking of which, we've had a few subs during the podcast. Like, say, first off, shout out to all of our new subs and our old subs. We have people that are going on 30+ months. Holy shit, guys.
Crazy, right?
Thank you guys so much for your dedication. And of course, for those that can't sub, do not stress, do not worry. But a quick shout out to those who did. And of course, all of our new followers, to our patrons. And of course, more information is down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure to click that follow button. That way you guys get email notifications even. And of course, We do post these up on SoundCloud as well. 151 is up, and Darren will make sure 152 is up, so you can listen to the video or watch the video, and or you can listen to the audio version as well. But if you guys have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to us. And the best way of doing that, in my opinion, is to join us on our Discord server. It's a great tool. We utilize it every single day. You can send me and him PMs on there, and that's usually the best way to get in touch with us right away. We do have a Discord server. We'll drop that information in chat. And of course, if you go to our website and our forums, you can find that information as well. But it's just an overall great tool. You can download on your phone, all that. Super easy to use. And also, if you are a sub or a patron, speaking of subs, you can link your Twitch account and it will automatically put you into the user group. If you're a patron, make sure to send me a PM and I will add you manually. They don't have integration yet, but possibly in the future. But yeah, just want to say thank you guys so much for the support. Again, it's been amazing. Again, we're reaching towards our goal of some new emoticons. So once we get closer, we'll let you guys know.
We're stretching, we're reaching. But yeah, anyway, be sure to check out our website at NoGutsNoGalaxy.net. Check us out on Twitch at NGNGTV, YouTube at NoGutsNoGalaxy TV, Twitter at NoGutsNoGalaxy, Facebook at NoGutsNoGalaxy Podcast, SoundCloud at NoGutsNoGalaxy. And for the latest and greatest in mech porn t-shirts, be sure to check out our store at NoGutsNoGalaxyStore.com.
I love how we can say mech porn, and it's like totally commonplace. Like, no one, yeah, it is what
Guys,
it is.
As far as me streaming, I know
he's been busy,
freaking slacker. But as I was showing Phil today, I just have so much work in the background that I'm constant. Basically, the further we got employed with PGI, the less we've been able to play. And I miss you guys. I miss doing streams. I totally do. It's not because I don't enjoy it. In fact, I'm having a great time dropping, like I've been mentioning, and doing the giveaways and dev kill medallions and so forth. I love doing this stuff. I totally miss streaming. I miss hanging out with you guys, but it's only because I have a family. I'm trying to have a little bit of a life, especially through the holidays. I know it's crazy, but it's always on my mind. I want to stream more. I would love to stream more, and hopefully in 2017 I can stream more.
And of course, this just means you guys get to see this face every single day instead.
Yeah,
aren't you just super happy about that?
There you
go.
That's a consolation prize.
Anyways, guys, this has been your local No Guts No Galaxy MechWarrior podcast. Signing off for tonight. This is Phil,
and this is Darren.
Until next time, Mech Warriors. Oh, nailed it.